Well, good morning. I had actually a pretty good sleep. I woke up maybe 3 or 4 times, a few minutes, went back to sleep, went to the washroom once. The tent's pretty good. It's mosquito proof, which is what I wanted. So because of the large amounts of mosquitoes outside, I'm actually going to deflate all of this stuff inside the tent. So I've got mosquito stuff going, it'll squirt out my clothing, put my shoes on, I'm going to go out, use the washroom for number 2, which I'm not videoing. Different view this morning. I'm gathering some of my firewood. The BioLite probably needs a bit more attention than I'm going to give it. I just want to show you this. This is the wok. I brought the chopping board, but I'm not going to use it. What's inside the wok? The lid, the base, a bic, a wire scrubber, and a cutting knife for food. This is just to protect it and also to wrap leftover food in. Back to the fire. It's smouldering, we're getting there. So I've replenished my firewood stock to go in the bag later on. I have some dry birch bark. This should help. Give that a few moments. I'm going to put the wok on it. Broccoli sprouts. Always put elastic bands on stuff like this. It should hold, but you never know in a pack. Full of surprises. The wraps. The cheese and mystery ingredient, which you'll see when I add it. Fake vegan sausage. If you want to spice up your camping a bit, find these. They're actually readily available from pizza and fast food restaurants. This one came from a great pizza chain in Ottawa. Excellent. Anyway, wash them out. When you go camping, you can put margarine, or if you like butter or oils, in these. Try to avoid liquids though, and if you put any sort of liquids in anything, make sure it's in a separate container and there's a Ziploc around it. This was in the metal tub with a Ziploc around it. How on earth did I decide what I was going to have for breakfast? Well, I looked at what I had, I figured out what I could carry, I figured out what I could do, or try to do this morning, and then I put it all in the tin, got it all in the tin, and then I froze it until I left. So it actually arrived here yesterday evening, frozen. Now you'll notice the wind isn't really picking up yet, but the wind is blowing this way, off the beaver pond. So I don't really want the flame going over the engine part, so I'm going to turn it around, and this is the time to do it. This piece will stay cool for an awfully long time, but I like to have two-hand stability when I move objects, and I'm really making sure this one won't fall over like it did yesterday. Flat surface is best, but when you're in a forest you may not have any. Let's heat the wok. The instructions for heating the wok came with the kit, and I did prove it already, and I proved it twice or 3 times I think. So it's wok ready to wok and roll. Now the lid I also proved a little bit, and you can see there's a little piece of plastic on there. I'm going to keep this because it stops this rattling in the pack, at least rattling excessively. This really isn't going to take any time at all, bearing in mind that vegan sausages are plants, not meat. Now, I don't recommend vegan sausages for a healthy diet, but as part of my diet I find them helpful. No, I don't miss real sausages at all. No, I don't eat any cheese, no I don't have any milk, nor do I eat any meat, nor do I have any fish. Been that way for over a decade and I'm still fat, because I really like bread. Yeah, that's heating up. I am very heat adverse and I really have a problem touching anything hot. Kiwi's a lot better than that than I am, but I can't. Which is why I brought this. I'm going to keep them off the heat for a bit, I think. Maybe just a final heat at the end. Not a good place to put them. Where am I going to put them? I'll put them with the lid on the ground. Next thing's the wraps. Chopping board would be ideal for it, but I really don't want to use it. I don't need to. Wraps. We have 2 wraps today. Fake cheese and secret ingredient. Secret ingredient is sun-dried tomatoes chopped. A bit more cheese, some broccoli sprouts, which of course I grew myself. Really shouldn't be buying sprouts, they're very easy to make. Very nutritious. Second wrap, this is how you do it. quick reheat, and this will be a very quick reheat. Stirring as we go. That's it. Put them in the wraps, fold the wraps, and eat. I'm going to sit here, so I'm going to move this. Yowza! I don't think they needed a reheat. This goes where I left it before to cool down. Various methods to fold wraps. This is my method in the wilds. And I fold one edge and eat like this. Okay, you don't want to see me eating. Unless you know you're only ever going to do car or van camping, you're never going to be in a forest, you're never going to travel and sleep overnight using this by foot or by bicycle. Doesn't matter what you buy really. But for everybody else, which should be almost everybody watching this, you're going to have to spend $400 to $500 to $600 Canadian or equivalent getting a proper tent. Why? Even if you're not planning to carry the tent or cycle with the tent, you want a tent that's lightweight so you can if you have to. You want a tent that's going to last a decade or more outside in the sun and getting hit by bad thunderstorms on a regular basis. That being said, one of the things you need to do if you have to live outside in a tent permanently is try and find some sort of real accommodation. This is quite harsh on the body. It might be good for the mind initially, but it's harsh on the body. The other thing with this tent, it's mosquito proof. Absolutely essential. Not, well, some get in but I spray. Has to be proof against egress of creepy crawlies and mosquitoes into that tent. So for a decade this tent's been used, not heavily used, but used, and it's working fine. Plastic got stretched last time we put it away. Anyway, these things happen. So Mountain Equipment Corp replaced it for me for free, the string, because I bought it from them a decade ago and they have me on record. So that's something you might want to consider as well. Would Walmart take your tent after 10 years and replace the elastic in the guide pegs for free? Maybe they would. I don't know. I don't shop at Walmart. I have respect for people. The other major advantage of this tent is this. Count how many you put out, 4. Count how many you put back in the bag. As soon as you take them out, whatever you're doing, stow gear straight away. Don't put it to a side, don't leave it in a pile on the floor and carry with something else. Stow gear as you go. Do you carry a small dustpan and a brush to clean out the inside of your tents? Done. When you plug down $500 Canadian for a tent and they want $100 for a ground sheet, you're going to be tempted to say no. That's a mistake. Ground sheets are very useful for various things. If you get a proper one, you can use it as a tarp around the camp. If you use it as a ground sheet, it retains the life of the tent a lot more than it otherwise would, and it packs up small. Ground sheets were invented for a reason. Just because they're costing you a bit more money doesn't mean you can't get one. Definitely get a ground sheet. Like I say, you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm taking my time to pack and stow kit carefully. It's actually in reverse, but who cares? It's packed properly. You have to put your pack on lying down or sitting down. It's too heavy. I estimate this is about 50 pounds. Not used to it. Glad I'm only going a kilometre. Glad the weather's nice. Just realised it's the 3rd of July. Well, it's a belated Happy Canada Day on July 1st for me. And I guess probably belated July 4th for you lot down there. I hope this July 4th you come together like most Canadians did. No surprise seeing your homes after a night out in the woods. It's very pleasant. Well, I wish you could have joined me. Thanks for watching. Get out there, do something. You don't have to go very far. I'm 20-25 minutes walk from my house on Kitty's property. Very beautiful place. A couple of things. Always gather all the garbage that you have, including everything. Any garbage, never leave any garbage. there's no other garbage here, but if there is, I gather as much of it as I can and pack it out. It's okay being angry at people that litter in places like this. Do something about it. And I don't seal this up until I've completely struck the camp and everything's in the backpack, just in case I find more garbage. Big fan of Ziplocs. This is not one. This is. We live in a society that doesn't see tomorrow coming at us, so you will find lots of this sort of product with a Ziploc on it. You can repurpose them, you can wash them out, and you can reuse them. We often do that. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Wolfie, Wolfie, Wolfie. This has been an incredibly cute Wolfie production 2022. Wolfie, good boy, good boy.